Fancy an anime waifu character winking at you from the depths of your PC case every so often? If yes, then the Gigabyte B850 AORUS ELITE-P ICE might be the motherboard for you. Sporting support for the latest Ryzen 9000 series of processors, as well as the Ryzen 8000 series of APUs and the older Ryzen 7000 series of CPUs. This board should also support AMD's upcoming Zen 6 lineup of processors on the AM5 socket. Given this board's colorway is clearly targeted at white-colored PC builds and further expands Gigabyte's product lineup that features RE, its anime-inspired mascot. Let's take a closer look at the specs of this board to see if it's any good. To recap, AMD launched its Zen 5 Ryzen 9000 series of processors back in August 2024 and the high-end X870E and X870 chipsets for the AM5 platform back in end September 2024. January 2025 then saw the arrival of AMD's mid-range and entry-level 800 series chipsets in the form of the B850 and the B840. Now, as some of you might be aware, Gigabyte released a slew of new X3D motherboards as part of the brand's refresh of its AM5 motherboard offerings earlier in the year, where I've covered some of these boards in my earlier videos. The refreshed X3D lineup brought improved features in anticipation of the arrival of AMD's next generation Zen 6 processor offerings that will launch in due course. While it doesn't contain the X3D letters in its name, the B850 AORUS ELITE-P ICE seems to share identical specs as the black-coloured B850 AORUS Elite X3D, which supports X3D Turbo Mode 2.0, something that the Elite-P doesn't. With that in mind, the board comes in a box that has an RE and CAT theme. Moving over to the rear of the box, we get the usual summary of specs for this board. We'll take a closer look at these specs later on in this video. On a side note, if you're new to the ALK Tech channel, do consider subscribing so as to keep up to date with the latest product releases in the PC hardware world. With that, let's have a look at the contents of the box. First up, we get an RE keychain plushie that ships in a random color, where it's also available in red, green, yellow, and brown. As we're setting aside the board for the moment, you'll notice that even the anti-static bag containing the board has cutesy RE motifs printed on it. With the board out of the way, first up we get a Wi-Fi antenna in white, which comes with the new Wi-Fi Easy Plug connector. We also get two SATA 3 cables in white like so. And these are accompanied by 3 packs of M.2 rubber pads that can be used to add additional support for single-sided M.2 drives. Moving on, we get a G connector that simplifies the process of hooking up your PC's front panel connectors to the motherboard, which is a nice quality of life feature to have for sure, and it should make the PC building process just a little bit easier. Moving on, we get a regulatory information leaflet right here, and to round things off, a sheet of RE themed stickers. Onto the board itself, we see that Gigabyte has gone for a white and silver aesthetic with small touches of orange for contrast, where we get a white coloured PCB and silver heatsinks decked out with lots of RE and anime cat motifs. The board comes with an integrated I/O shield design, and over on the rear, we see that Gigabyte's included more RE motifs for added visual interest. Fans of integrated aesthetic LEDs for their motherboards will be pleased to note that Gigabyte's included ARGB LEDs beneath the chipset heatsink like so. And we've even got a LCD edge view feature on the integrated I/O shield cover that has a manga-inspired illustration of RE, just in case you guys can get enough of her. Worth noting that you can't tweak what's shown on this LCD display. The board features a 6-layer PCB design, and Gigabyte's included 16 +2+2 power phases with 60 amp power stages. The B850 chipset has a single chip design, and the said chip sits beneath this passive heatsink right here, which has an illustration of RE chowing down on noodles. For M.2 drive cooling, Gigabyte's got you covered with heatsink coverage for all 4 M.2 slots that the board comes with. For memory support, the B850 AORUS ELITE-P ICE comes with 4 DDR5 slots that, as of the time of publishing this video, comes with support for up to 256GB of RAM and the DDR5 8200 standard. In terms of front panel USB connectivity, we get a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C front panel header right next to the RAM slots, and near the SATA ports found near the bottom edge of the board, a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A front panel header that provides support for up to 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports. We do also get 2 USB 2.0 front panel headers along the bottom edge of the board, with each header providing support for 2 USB 2.0 Type A ports for a total of 4 ports. Some interesting features to highlight. Back at the top of the motherboard, we get a set of status LEDs as well as a double-digit debug LED that can help with troubleshooting PC startup issues. Moving to the bottom edge of the board, we get a TPM header for an optional discrete Gigabyte TPM module, a clear CMOS header, as well as an additional reset header on top of the one already included as part of the front panel header group. In terms of expansion slots, this board comes with a PCIe 5.0 x16 slot for a graphics card. The very slot features Gigabyte's PCIe UD slot design that reinforces the slot for use with heavy graphics cards. As can be seen, the slot also comes with the PCIe Easy Latch Plus feature that helps make removing a graphics card from the slot less of a painful affair. We also get a full-length PCIe 4.0 x16 slot that operates at X4 mode. Do note that PCIe 5.0 is only supported when you have a Ryzen 9000 series or Ryzen 7000 series processor installed. It's worth noting that the Ryzen 8000 series of APUs only support the PCIe 4.0 standard. In the storage department, Gigabyte has included 2 SATA 3 ports, with both ports in a right-angled configuration to aid with cable management. For M.2 slots, it comes with 1 PCIe 5.0 x4 M.2 slot and 3 PCIe 4.0 x4 M.2 slots. Do note that all these slots support NVMe SSDs only. M.2 SATA drives will not work in any of these slots. We've got 3 quality of life features with the M.2 slots. First up, the M.2 heatsinks feature a toolless design, with the Gen 5 M.2 slot featuring an updated M.2 Easy Latch Click 2 design. The heatsink that cools the 3 Gen 4 M.2 slots come with the more ordinary M.2 Easy Latch Click feature. Next up, we've got M.2 Easy Latch Plus, which makes installing and removing an M.2 drive a toolless affair. Finally, we've also got another feature called M.2 Easy Flex for the Gen 5 M.2 slot, which is a thermal pad on an elastic base that can help to improve contact between the SSD and the heatsink. With that, it's worth mentioning that we do get some PCIe lane sharing with this board, where the 4th M.2 slot, slot M2D_SB, shares bandwidth with the full-length PCIe 4.0 x16 slot that runs at X4 mode. If you've got an M.2 drive installed in slot M2D_SB, the PCIe 4.0 x16 slot will be disabled entirely. Once again, do bear in mind that PCIe 5.0 is only supported with a Ryzen 9000 series or Ryzen 7000 series processor installed. The Ryzen 8000 series of APUs only support the PCIe 4.0 standard. For audio, Gigabyte's included a higher-end Realtek ALC1220 audio codec. In terms of wired internet connectivity, the board comes with a Realtek RTL8126 chip that provides support for 5 Gigabit Ethernet, while Wi-Fi support is courtesy of a Realtek RTL8922AE Wi-Fi 7 part that supports the 160 MHz channel width and also serves up Bluetooth 5.4 support. In the cooling and RGB departments, the board comes with 6 fan headers that are located in these areas of the board. Also included are 3 Gen 2 addressable RGB headers and a single 12V RGB header located in these areas. Moving over to the rear I/O, the B850 AORUS ELITE-P ICE goes for an integrated I/O shield design, where the said I/O shield also comes with ventilation openings in the form of parallelogram shapes. The board comes with a HDMI 2.1 port that supports a maximum resolution of up to 1496 by 2160 at 60Hz. We also get a reset button that can be customized to perform other functions from within the BIOS, a power button, a clear CMOS button, a QFlash Plus button that allows you to update the board's BIOS without needing to install a CPU, RAM or graphics card. 4. USB 2.0 Type A ports. 4. USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports. 2. USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, with this port here supporting the QFlash Plus feature. 2. USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C ports, a 5 Gigabit Ethernet port right here, Wi-Fi antenna connectors with the new Wi-Fi Easy Plug design, and not forgetting your usual audio jack connectors. To sum up, the Gigabyte B850 AORUS ELITE-P ICE is pretty much the mainstream B850 AORUS Elite X3D motherboard in white and with an anime-inspired aesthetic to pander to otaku folks who are into the whole anime waifu lifestyle. Specs are pretty mainstream, where we get a VRM setup that should handle AMD's mid-range AM5 processor lineup decently well, PCIe 5.0 support for both a graphics card and an M.2 drive, 5 Gigabit Ethernet with built-in Wi-Fi 7, a decent assortment of USB Type-C and Type-A connectivity options, along with a whole bunch of helpful features such as M.2 Easy Latch Click 2 and so on. One downside that I can think of is the fact that the board uses a Wi-Fi 7 module that doesn't support the full 320MHz channel width that you tend to get with higher-end Wi-Fi 7 modules. This is something to take note of, especially if fast Wi-Fi 7 networking is one of your key considerations. Also, this board clearly isn't for you if the whole anime waifu aesthetic isn't your cup of tea, especially seeing that the LCD edge view animation cannot be customized at all. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.